Hi, welcome to my shop. My name is Paul Hamblin. Today we're going to talk about the safety features and safety protocols when dealing with sand casting. First off, before you do anything in my shop, I want you to make sure and keep in mind you always wear a pair of safety glasses. And it's a good idea because remember, a face shield does not protect against impact. So we're going to go ahead and put on a pair of safety glasses. But when dealing with sand casting, you're dealing with temperatures in excess of 1700 to 2200 degrees if you're dealing with brass and aluminum. And so we're going to take a lot of safety precautions here. First thing we're going to do is we are going to be wearing a welding jacket. The welding jacket we're using is actually a cotton type, and the reason I recommend that over leather is if leather gets extremely hot, it can actually ignite. And also, if you've ever experienced wearing like leather welding gloves when dealing with hot metals, leather tends to carry the heat longer than a natural cotton. And so as a result, we're going to wear a natural cotton or a Nomex. All right? And the first thing I want you to keep in mind is make sure to snap it all the way up. Right now, my neck is exposed, and I want to make sure that I have protection going all the way up to my neckline. So all the way up. Next, we're going to put on what's called an aluminized or metallized apron. Metallized aprons are extremely critical if you're going to be dealing with high temperature casting. High temperature casting can range anywhere from ranging 800 degrees or hotter. So really, even if you're melting just lead, you should still be taking the same safety precautions. So we'll go ahead and put the apron on. And I want you to notice that this apron is attached by snaps. The reason it has snaps is for quick removal and easy take on and take off. So we have our metallized apron, and remember, the apron is not a shield, it's just a safety barrier. It can't prevent injury, but it can help prevent it. The next thing we're going to be using is a full face shield. What I have here is a tint number 3 visor. I recommend either wearing a pair of safety glasses that are a tint 3, or at least the visor is at least a tint 3. Much like when you do torch cutting or plasma cutting, the light emitted from that is going to be extremely bright and can actually harm your eyes. So I always recommend using some type of tinted visor or safety glasses. The visor is critical just because of the fact that if metal splatters up, you have an air bubble or something happens, you don't want to get metal all over your face. So we'll put the visor on, and we're good to go there. Secondly, is the hands. Whether you realize it or not, when you're sand casting, the act of just trying to pour or collect the metal from the melting pot is going to be hot enough to actually give you first and second degree burns on the top of your hands. That's why today we're using metallized gloves or aluminized. And all it does is just create a slight shield here to reflect the heat. But once again, the gloves are not going to prevent you from getting burned if you get molten metal on it. All it does is create a safety barrier. So we're going to go ahead and put the gloves on. And so as a result, we have protection on the hands, arms, the chest, and make sure to wear long pants and solid shoes. Right now I'm wearing leather steel-toed boots, but I just recommend not tennis shoes or sandals or something like that. You need something that's going to give you a little bit of protection. When casting, the biggest thing that's going to happen if there's a problem is you can either have air bubbles in the forge, or not the forge, the foundry, or you can have debris or something that can cause a pop-up of air or a splatter effect or something like that. In the event that you get metal on your visor, your face shield, which should cover your whole entire face and neck, if the metal comes out and hits your visor, the visor will, because of the temperature, immediately burst into flames. I want you to carefully take it, throw the visor away. The visor is probably going to burst into flames, but it's a lot better to have that burning than have your face damaged. Secondly, if any of the liquid metal gets on your apron or gloves, one of the things you got to keep in mind, everything is quick removal. It does not prevent the metal from burning through. All it does is slow it down to give you time. So what we're going to do is, notice we have 2 snaps here. It's all quick release. We're just going to pop, pop, and throw the apron away. Because now the liquid metal is actually on the apron burning. If you get it on your gloves, the gloves should be loose fitting. Go ahead and just take your gloves, take a step back, throw them away. Let the metal burn up the safety equipment. That's what it's for. And notice how we layered everything. The reason we layered is if it burns through the one layer, it has to go through the next. Just like if it's on your welding jacket, do not hesitate to ditch the jacket as well. So now, even if we had an accident, the splashed up metal or molten metal is burning up the safety equipment, but after I put the fire out, guess what? I can go home, unburned, and have a good evening. That's just a little bit about safety tips for working with casting, either brass, aluminum, steel, any of those things. And I'll see you guys next time when we learn about the actual process of sand casting.